Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Hi, I'm Jack Berry. I'm at the Michigan Golf Show on Grand River in Novi, Michigan, right next to downtown Northville, where I'm from. And I'm with Harry Bowers, who is from South Lyons, right? Or Lyons. Harry is one of the noted golf course architects for Michigan, and we've had a number of top flight designers, and Harry is right in that category. And we're going to talk a little bit about the courses he's done and how golf is going in the world today.
Yeah, well, thanks, Jack.
What's happening in golf today,
Well, all kinds of things, Jack. Look at this show. The last time I was here with you, I thought it was big then. It seems like it's bigger now. So it must be doing good in Michigan.
How about the rest of the country? Now, you're involved all around the country.
Yeah, I finished that course with Tom Weiskopf down in Argentina a few years ago, and I pretty much said I'm done with the international stuff. So, you know, my bread and butter's always been Florida. I redid a golf course in Morehead City, North Carolina, a couple of years ago, and that was kind of fun. But pretty much just Florida. I'm going to be in Decatur, Illinois this fall, touching a few things up.
You had something going in Puerto Rico, didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, the other hurricane came back and wiped everything out. So Puerto Rico went away, but that was fine with me. I've done enough work down there over the years. It can be logistically, it can be tough getting materials in and out and getting good labor. It's not easy. Not easy.
Now, it does, for a while, it was the National Golf Foundation was saying we need a golf course every day. They finally got over that. Now, what is the condition now as far as?
Well, I think if you look at the statistics, we're still losing golfers, but it's slowing down. The rate of loss is slowing down. And that's a good thing. And you were talking about it earlier. We've got more junior golf programs, it seems like, and it's great. We've got a lot of junior golfers, a lot of beginners. I worry about, can we keep them? And I look at more of the state of the game as far as the time it takes to play, the cost, the difficulty that some of these golf courses are. Operations is still struggling. I mean, it's expensive to maintain golf courses at a high level. And because we've built so many golf courses here, golfers are very picky. They want great conditions. They don't want to pay more for it, but they want great conditions. So I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing some attrition as far as the older golf courses can't keep up.
Well, I just think the older people can't keep up.
Yeah,
Is that it? You're looking at me.
I'm included. I'm included. I went and played a couple of weeks ago with the club president at a club I'm doing down in Florida, and he was an ex-golf pro, and I knew I was getting suckered into this, but I went and played. I held my own, but they kept saying, "What are you doing playing the senior tees?" So I'm 63 years old. I get to play the senior tees.
You're a kid.
Yeah, maybe, but I still get to play the senior tees.
Well, that's I guess one of my biggest gripes is that there aren't enough forward tees, and that
Yes, I agree.
that the club operator should understand that and make a move to cut some grass farther out and maybe take out a few bunkers.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I've been telling people that for probably the last 5 or 6 years now. In Decatur, Illinois, I did a golf course with Ray Floyd there. It's got all kinds of awards. It's a great golf course, and they want to look at ways to try to be more efficient dollar-wise. I said, boy, no offense, but we should have never done 67 bunkers here. Let's knock it down to about 40 bunkers. Let's try to eliminate a lot of these fairway bunkers. we're going to do it. We're going to start this fall. So I think that helps.
How about that course you did off of I-94, what's it, Washington?
Pierce Lake.
Yeah, Pierce Lake.
They do real well. They don't ever complain about costs. They do fine. They're profitable. I probably could go over and talk to them about it. We didn't do a lot of bunkers there anyway. It was kind of like Inkster Valley. We didn't do a ton of bunkers there. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge. If you're talking about forward tees, one of the things that I found shocking about 2 years ago, I was talking to a director of golf, and on that particular golf course that I did, we did 5 and even 7 tees on some holes. And every time I went there to play, we're playing from the same tees. And I went to him and I said, guys, why don't you shift these around? Well, we're trying to match the scorecard. And there's only room for 5 tees on the scorecard. So, and I thought, I went along with it. But then I thought afterwards, everybody's got GPS. You shouldn't even use the scorecard. Have them walk up but that was his reasoning, and I thought that's foolish. But what are you going to do?
Complain.
That's right. That's right. I do agree with you, though. I wish they would just seriously, and I blame some of the architects too, and me included. When I was younger, we made things too tough. But I've read several articles lately on bunkering. And one of them was a local architect here that and his whole point was we need to have those bunkers to define the fairways and the greens. And I'm just not sure I'm buying into that anymore. It's like the operators keep saying they've had to reinvent themselves. After 2008, they lost a lot of golfers, and they had to start thinking of different ways to get those golfers back. So operations changed because the golfer changed. The 30-year-old golfer today, he doesn't think anything of being a member at his dad's club, for instance.
Right.
Like when you and I were, if you got to be a member at your dad's club, you were somebody. You got there and you used it for business. That was a perk. Today, these kids, they could care less about that. They got their phone. They have to go to Topgolf. That's right. So the operators had to change. But it doesn't seem like the architects did. I'm still seeing in all these magazines, where the best knew this, the best knew that. They look extremely hard to me.
Right.
It just, I don't get it. PGA of America, 2 brand new golf courses, both of them are over 7,600 yards, north of Dallas, Texas. And you've probably played there. I played a lot there years ago. It's always windy. It's like Florida. It's always windy.
They always talk about that. All the Texas players always say, wind doesn't bother us. I'm from Texas.
That's right.
I understand why the PGA is moving from Florida to north of Dallas anyway.
Yeah,
Strange.
It was a strange move all the way around, and the fact that one of the golf courses, both of them are public, but one of them is really supposed to be, the Bo Welling course is supposed to be easier and more friendly, and it's 76.03 from the tips, and I'm like, oh my God. So what is that for the forward?
Well, they're moving the brand new course for the Byron Nelson. They're leaving there, and I think they're going back to what they were doing before up in Irvine.
I don't know. I just don't. I wish in my industry we would start designing more for enjoyment. And I get it, not all of them. There's some private clubs. There's clubs that what we call in the industry a vanity play. Right. Guy's got more money and he knows what to do with, and he wants to, I get that. But how are we going to grow? How are we going to keep those young golfers when they get 20, 25, 35? Now they've got kids. They've got a family. How are we going to keep them engaged in golf if they can't go out and just play 9 holes in an hour and a half?
And enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Take their kids with them. Take your wife. She's just learning how to play. Big deal. You get out there and bump it around. Fairways are wide. Not too many hazards.
Right.
So anyway.
Right. wide fairways and no water.
Cut it down. That's my biggest thing down in Florida. It's almost impossible to do golf in Florida without water because you're required to retain all of your storm drainage and whatever that property boundary is. And then usually the district will say, and oh, by the way, we got a little problem over here. Can you take their water? So you've got to have these and you've got the storms. So you've got to have these large storm retention areas, and they're not really retention, they're lakes. So it's tough in Florida, but yeah, there's some great golf courses out there that don't have any water on. Look at San Francisco Golf Club. I can remember the first time I went out there with Harvey Ward, the caddy's going through my bag, and I'm like, what's going on? He's taking stuff out. He's taking golf balls out. He's taking this out. I go, what are you doing? He goes, you won't need more than 3 golf balls here. I thought he was crazy, but he was right. There's no,
But he was carrying it, right?
Yeah, he was carrying it, that's right. But he was right. There's no water on the course. Pretty wide open, and it's regarded as one of the great tracks out there.
Well, we've had the new courses that we've had recently. Tom Doak's done the loop course at Forest Dunes. I don't think there's any water on it. It's back and forth, but Tom does have some. Tom does have. Well, that's the sand belt of Michigan is in there.
Right up his. I'm interested in Paul Albanese, and who's the other fellow that used to starts with an L? Lutsky. Yeah, I'm reading about those guys up in the Upper Peninsula. Their stuff I don't really know either one of them very well, but they were kind of like me. They worked under somebody else and were kind of the behind the scenes doing all the work. Yeah, and it's been great. I mean, I like I said, I get to read about them and everything. And I thank gosh we're doing stuff up in the UP. The UP's got some great property up there for golf, and if we could get it going where people would get across the bridge or come across from Wisconsin.
Well, Mike DeVries did a course by Marquette that is, I think, sensational. Yeah. Gray walls, and you got to get up there. And
well, as well as I do, we're awful lucky here in Michigan. I can't, I've been all over the world, and Michigan's got it all as far as from a golf course designer's perspective. They've got it all. I mean, they've got dune areas, you've got heavily wooded areas, you've got topography, you've got rock outcroppings, you've got natural. I mean, look at Bay Harbor with all the views on Lake Michigan, It's just fantastic. I mean, it's good.
That's good to hear. To hear a golf course architect say that. Let me add it. They love to come to Michigan, and it's you're right. And I think that when they do come, when the Joneses came and found all that sand Art Hills, although he's practically a Michigander.
Well, the first time I came up here to look at treetops with my mentor, Roger Rulich, he's from New Jersey, and Connecticut, where he grew up, and I was explaining to him what, he looked at the topography, because back then we had to have the physical topography to do the routing, and he was old school, so that's what I learned, which was really fun. But I could tell he didn't have a full appreciation for that topography because of the mix with the soil, the mature trees. And I remember that first day we went around and we sat down and had a beer before dinner that night, and he goes, Harry, I had no idea. I was thinking kind of like upstate New York, and it does have a feel of upstate New York, but our topography and that the soils are so much, and this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. So it's a shame we didn't get to do more.
Well, there certainly are enough courses all across the state, east side, west side, north, south.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great state, I can tell you that, for golf.
Pure Michigan.
Pure Michigan, baby. here in Michigan.